Let's do this. Oh, are you so excited to chat about episode 18?
I am so excited. I just wish we were together when I watched it this morning.
Same. I as well wished that. But don't worry, next week is a good one too. So we'll be together for that. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of We Are Liars, a Pretty Little Liars podcast. I'm Liz,
And now, Michelle.
and we are discussing the Badass Seed, episode 18 of season 1. Original air date February 21st, 2011. Written by Oliver Goldstick and Francesca Rollins and directed by Paul Lazarus. As tensions rise, the girls ponder the true nature of evil. Aria views the school play as an opportunity to get close to Ezra, but will her plan backfire?
Will it? Did it?
I don't know. It seems to be.
Yeah,
Had
especially
backfired.
when she said Ezra and not Mr. Fitz. And the eyes were just like, Mona was like, mm-hmm.
All of them.
Yeah.
Her friends were like, what? Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Fitz, he's putting on a school production of The Bad Seed, as I teased last week. And Hannah and Spencer are the ones who want to audition. Aria and Emily don't really seem to be in it that much. And then what's funny is the girls complain about how they don't get to see Ezra and Aria in a relationship in front of them, basically, which I'm like, hello, it's they have to keep it private. They wish they could see them like together.
This was
Like, it would
really
be cool to
weird.
see you together. Like, I don't know. Like, as much as I love you and I want you to be happy, do I need to like see you and Aunt being lovey-dovey? Like, I don't know. Or
No.
just like in the same room. I don't know. Like, obviously, I love to do so, and I wish my friends to be happy. And I guess that's the point. But I just thought this was weird.
No, this was really weird. I didn't understand the thought process behind it. And then I was thinking, like, trying to remember when I was a teenager, did I want to see my friends in their relationships? No, but I also was a
No.
different breed. So
Yeah.
then I always thought of my sister, like, would Sam want to do something like this? Would Liz want to do something like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird.
No. No. Yeah. So, in addition to that, Jenna comes in to ask Mr. Fitz if she can compose some music for the play with her flute. And he's like, yeah, okay, great. This seems like a good idea. And then she tells him that she loves the play's theme of evil and it's fascinating to her. And of course, the girls are just always on edge when Jenna's around.
I
They're
just,
like, what is she doing?
yeah. And the fact that she's like, I just find it so inspiring.
And he's like, I'm sorry. The theme is about a psycho 8-year-old. So
Right.
I never watched the movie, didn't I don't really know anything about this.
Same. I don't
Okay.
either. I don't either.
Apparently it's inspiring though.
Well, to
It's a
Jenna,
real thing. It's not like I made it up. It was an actual movie. I know that for sure.
it was a movie?
Yeah, I think it was a movie. I mean,
Really?
obviously it was a play as well,
And a
but
book, right?
I'm pretty sure in the trivia it says something about it being a movie. So when we get there.
Okay.
All right. So Spencer, speaking of being on edge, she is always on edge because now Melissa and Ian are home from Philly, and Ian is unpacking but packing his things that he believes are basically only sentimental to like his mom, because now the baby is coming and he needs to make some space. And as we know, Spencer is extremely uncomfortable when Ian is around. Who can blame her? And he notices this. So he asks her to hold down a box that he can tape up, even though he was boxing up things, it seemed he could do it himself.
Yeah, this was really weird and uncomfortable. Like she just woke up, she comes down for
Yeah.
coffee and he's like, "Can you hold down this flap?" And then
She's,
he doesn't he say something along the lines of like, you need to stop being so creeped out by me. Like I'm
yeah.
not going anywhere." Ew. He's
But she can't. She can't
I
get past
know.
it.
Of course. Ew.
Yeah. So he tells her he notices that she's afraid of him, And he says that I can't believe that you would think that I had something to do with Allison's murder. He tells her, though, that he is not surprised that she ended up the way she did because she was a stalker that took no for an answer. And he states their relationship could be summed up in two words: get lost, which I thought was the most random two words you could have ever summed up this explanation.
Yeah, but also when he said that, I could, not that I want to side with Ian, I can see how she could have kind of that stalkerish
Mhm.
tendency.
Yeah,
Not that she should have gotten murdered from it. I'm not
of
saying
course.
that, but I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me.
Mhm. Right. So Spencer takes this in. The next day at school, Ian gives Jenna a bag that we had seen at the Hastings before, and they are wondering what could possibly be inside this bag. And then later at play rehearsal, Ian comes in by mistake. It was so random. And this is weird because this is the first time that you see Ezra and Ian have an interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
almost like, not that they're the same, but they're around the same age. And I feel like they're both big players in the show. And it's just strange that we haven't seen them interact. But then again, Ian's a coach. So why would he be, where Ezra necessarily would be? But yeah, so Ezra's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, wrong room." And this triggers the girls. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe we ever had crushes on him. We used to think he was so cute." And this has triggers a memory. We see a flashback of a college party, which was, it seems like it was Ian's frat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and so I went on the wiki page and I wanted to just get some more information about timelines of things, and like they have like literally timeline for everything. They're like, Ian was born. Then he dated like the things, like
Is
every
it
date,
accurate though?
everything.
Is it
It seems
accurate?
to be.
Okay.
So the wiki page said that this party was July or August of 2009. So this is after the Jenna thing. This is assuming to be after Spencer and Ian had had their kiss. And so it seems like Allie was heading to this party to spy on Ian to make sure that he's not also hooking up with other girls that are roughly her age.
Okay. Yeah.
So in the flashback, the girls get fake IDs from Allie, which, you know, of course, she gets some fake IDs and she's ditching them. She states that she has to go act her new age and that everyone should mingle. And they see Ian with a girl who is not Melissa because at this point he is still with Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
And this one girl seems to be pretty drunk. He's walking with her. And then another scene is this girl has fallen down the stairs. She's still breathing, but it looks like someone could have potentially pushed her. And now the girls are thinking, well, maybe this was Ian. They never put it together until now.
Yeah. I mean, why would you, right? There's no reason to.
Plus, I think it was also just Emily who had seen Ian on the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
So she's the only one that clocked it. And at the time, she felt like it wasn't necessary to say anything because she didn't think anything of it. So later that day, we have a Toby and Spencer scene where they talk about Ian and Jenna and the bag and how this is weird. And Spencer's really pressuring Toby to see what they can, what's in Jenna's phone, who she's been in contact with. And she's like, please just take it. I know, it might be a risk, but we need to figure out who she's been talking to. So he's so hesitant. And he's said that they're not really speaking at this point. And Jenna always seems to know when Toby touches her shit, but ultimately he agrees to do it anyway. And so after he does, he's just like so on edge and he keeps
I
feeling
mean,
like he's
wouldn't
gonna get
you?
caught. Absolutely.
Oh my
And
God.
Spencer's very focused. She's like, I get it, but like we need to give this phone to Caleb because he needs to crack the code. And so of course Caleb can't crack the code
He's also
because
like,
he's like,
this is like from 2020, which made me LOL.
I know. I was
That
like,
was.
That was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
technology. Oh my god.
So they give the phone to Caleb. Of course, he can't fix it, but we do have another scene where Spencer and Toby are talking, and Toby says that he never snooped. He reiterates this again. We've heard this before, but he says that I didn't snoop, and of course now the whole town is blaming me, thinking that I did something to Allie. And Spencer says, "Yeah, I know I was one of those people, but I'm not proud of that, and I definitely don't believe that anymore." And at that point, she does like grab his hand to like comfort him.
Mhm.
Cute, cute, cute.
Mhm. That was cute.
So after the play rehearsal is over, the girls are basically like the only four left in the uh it looks I don't know if this is like a classroom. It looks like some sort of classroom. And they have the trunk that's one of the props. And I guess Spencer was going to put one of the props that she was wearing in the trunk. And in there is a trophy. And the trophy has dried blood on it, and it says Ian Thomas and that he won this golf tournament. And she's like, oh my God, we need to take this to the police. So they go and they turn it in. And at this point, they feel like so much better. They feel like they got some closure and that Allie's murder weapon is now been discovered. So they can move on a little bit. But then the police come to the school the next day and they blame the girls for staging this and
Yeah.
submitting fake
Like
evidence.
it was rat blood.
It was rat blood. This trophy, what this event had never even happened. It's like all completely fake. It's not even like this is just rat blood. It's like Ian couldn't have been at this event because this event never happened this weekend. Like it's like the whole thing was
I
fabricated.
don't think I caught that.
Yeah, the police say that this is not because Spencer had said it. This was the weekend that Ian went and saw Allie at Hilton Head. This must be a trophy from that. She's looked at it. She said this is the weekend.
I caught
Yeah,
that.
and so the police said there was no tournament during that weekend, and they I guess, had put the blood evidence through, and that came up as being a rat's blood.
Yes, yes, I caught that.
Yeah. And so the cops take the girls down to the station. They're like, you guys got to come with us because there's something not right here. And at that point, they get a text from A who basically states, like, haha, I set this all up. And
Yeah.
then Aria says, you know what? Maybe it wasn't Ian who pushed her down the stairs. Maybe it was Allie because
Yeah.
now they're thinking about it, the more they're realizing how jealous of a person and how manipulative she was. And it's very well possible.
I
And they
mean,
also think maybe Jenna was another one of Ian's friends, if you
yes.
will, and Allie was jealous of that relationship, and that's why she threw the stink bomb.
I mean, like this to me like makes sense more
Yeah,
so than some of the other conclusions they were coming up with.
right. It does. It seems pretty clear, you
It
know?
does. And again, Ian's still sketchy. I still think he had things he was involved with her. But I want to watch I wish they showed us the footage of her again with him.
They will. Yeah,
I figured.
it comes up a lot.
Okay.
We see this a lot. Yeah. And if they don't, and I'm mistaken, we will show it to you again. So over to Hannah, who her secret is like on its last limb here because Ashley still doesn't know, nor does she understand why they keep running out of food and things so quickly. And Hannah makes a lie about how she made mac and cheese and brownies for Caleb. And then she says, hey, can he stay in the guest room because he's got nowhere to go? And this way she can get a jump on A if A decides to come out and tell Ashley that Caleb's been staying in the basement. And so Ashley's like, I don't really think this is a good idea. We need our privacy. I love how big of a heart you have, but I really don't trust Caleb. This is not going to work out. And so Ashley leaves, and Caleb comes out after hearing this conversation about him, and he is going to go take his shower. And then the next day, it seems like he's going to go take another shower. And this is when we have the scene that Alyssa's been waiting and waiting and waiting for.
I like how you speak in third person there.
Thank you. Where Ashley has left for the day. Caleb thinks it's safe to take a shower. At this point, Hannah, I guess, is getting ready for school and she forgets the mascara in the bathroom. So she heads into the bathroom to get the mascara. You know, he's already behind the curtain. So he's like, yeah, yeah, sure. Just come in real quick. And then Ashley makes an appearance and she's like, I forgot my phone in the bathroom. And you can see the phone is on the charger. And Hannah's like, shit. So what does she do? She jumps in the
I
shower
know.
with him. Not my first move, but
What would have
okay.
been your first move?
I mean, I think Mike sent me an email how he would have just like been like, I'm getting in the shower, but so let me like just give you the phone. Like I'll
That's what
be in
I
a
would have
towel and
done.
just like, yeah, just give the phone.
Like
It would
through
have
the
made
door.
it didn't matter that she wasn't in the shower yet. Like everyone starts the shower before you get in the shower.
Exactly. And
Right.
then we wouldn't have had this
But then we
moment.
wouldn't have had this moment, this precious, delicious moment where Hannah jumps into the shower and Caleb's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And she's in there until Ashley leaves. And then, she's sneaking the peeks and she
Yeah.
likes what she sees.
Yes,
She
she
likes
does.
it. Mm-hmm.
She makes it obvious too that she's looking.
Uh-huh. And he turns around. He's like, hello, you want to
Hi.
share a towel too?
Oh my god, I love it.
So, I mean, this
Also,
scene is ingrained in my brain.
also in this episode, we have him. I don't know if it happened already, but I think it was when we first see him in this episode. He comes up with a toothbrush in his mouth.
Yeah.
And last week we had Tim Riggins coming up with a toothbrush in his mouth in the episode we watched because he wanted to use Becky's
That's
bathroom.
so
And
true.
that's the first thing I thought of. And I'm like, these two scenes are unrelated, but the fact that they happen the same week, my
I
brain is
know.
just like my two crushes having toothbrushes in their mouth.
They got
It's
good
it's just doing
hygiene,
something for
right?
me, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, it's doing something. The
It's doing
toothbrushes and the
something.
towels.
Yes.
We're here for it.
Yes, we
Yes.
are.
Sketchy Tim Riggins.
Oh my god.
All right. So the whole rest of the day, Hannah is acting so awkward around Caleb because how could she not? I mean, she saw the dude naked, and then she admits to Mona that she's feeling awkward because she saw him naked. And she's also confused about her feelings. Like, I guess, it's been progressively getting deeper and deeper. And then finally she sees him naked and she's like, I kind of always want to see him naked. So I don't really know how I'm
Yeah.
feeling here. Your teenage hormones raging. So the whole day, Caleb is noticing that she's acting strange. He keeps wanting to help her with things, which I thought was so cute. He's like, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? And she ignores him. And at the end of the night, Caleb is basically packed his bags. He's getting ready to leave because he feels like he wants to get out of Hannah's hair and he doesn't really understand why she's acting this way. And so she admits it was really weird to see him like that. And then from what I understand, this is how I read this conversation as he basically tells her it's okay if she doesn't want to show him hers,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, but what if I want to show you mine? And like, this is like a flirty banter. And it's cool if they throw down. The throw down thing was like lost on me.
I didn't catch that part. I just
He's like,
thought
oh,
like,
you want to you think you have to throw down too? I interpreted it as like you
oh,
have to
okay,
get
okay, okay.
naked too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. The
But
terminology. Got
yeah,
it.
so they have this magical spinning kiss,
See,
and
okay,
I was so
wait.
happy.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have been waiting for a kiss, right?
It didn't meet it.
I did not like the way this kiss was portrayed. This spinning sequence of the camera to me felt very Azaria.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
It felt so fairy tale to me and I didn't like it. Like I wanted this kiss to happen where not aggressively, but he like pins her up against the
Mm,
fridge or
mm.
pins her up against the
Yeah.
wall and like a leg goes up and we zoom out. Like this whole spinning
Yes.
situation, I'm like, no, this is ruining it for me.
Very much agree. It took me out of it as much as I
Yeah.
love them.
No, I
This
know.
was not my first kiss that I want to see on the show, you know? Not
No.
like the first big kiss that we want to see.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll get some more things, but
I'll be
I
patient.
totally agree. I did the spinning thing just completely diminished it for me.
Yeah.
Aria, here we go. I know. Every week we roll our
Every
eyes and
week, every
shrug and
week.
oh, she's just it's
She's just herself.
anyway, she's just Arya. So after the girls have this talk with Arya about how her and Ezra don't appear to be a couple in real life, which again they can't be, Arya convinces Ezra to make her stage manager so that they can spend some time together in public and people wouldn't suspect anything. How much time could you be possibly spending with your teacher in public about this play?
I know. She's like, "We can get coffee with each other and it wouldn't mean anything. Like, no one would suspect." I'm like, "Yes, they would. Why
They
would you get
would.
coffee outside of school with your teacher?"
Exactly. They would suspect. On
Weird.
school grounds, one thing. You don't need to take it out of school. Like,
Weird.
that was definitely something that I remember that the math teacher that I had that I loved so much.
Mhm.
He also tutored me. That was in school. We never went outside of school. He didn't come to my home. We didn't go meet at a little coffee shop. That was in school. Anything you do with your teacher is generally in school.
Yep.
So she had no justification there, but I get it. She's trying to make it happen. So at that point, too, as I mentioned last week, she tells Ezra, or she lies to Ezra, basically telling him that her friends still have no clue about them, which is very much wrong. Very much a lie because they know a lot of things about the Cesaria pairing.
Mhm. They sure do.
So much that they can't see past it. They're asking to see them in public. They're watching, hoping that things are going to happen between them. And then she goes and, of course, slips and calls him Ezra in front of the whole play. And like people definitely noticed. This was not something that she could just kind of like brush under the rug. People definitely noticed this.
Yeah. It was clear.
Like the water just keeps building up. Like their head can't stay above for much longer at this point.
It's so true.
Especially because then Byron comes over to school and he tells Ezra how wonderful he is and how he looks like he actually could really use a beer, though.
I
I'm
don't
like, why are we
understand this.
pressing this?
Why is Byron so eager to hang out with Fitz? I don't get it.
Right. I guess he feels badly about the way he treated him, but I think you apologize. Like, just, you can get over it
Like,
now.
move on. There's no need to go out for a beer. This is really
Right.
weird. This is
Right.
really weird.
It's very, very weird. And he's like buttering him up a little bit, and they do go to a bar to have a beer. And at this point, Byron mentions how high school kids, while it's fun and all, they grow up, they move on. Maybe you should do that as well. Maybe possibly teach something at college. And then this way, while he's teaching, he has more free time to work on like his Ezra things, his writing, his personal stuff. So the next day, Arya apologizes for her slip up and they discuss how Byron wants to get Ezra a job at Hollis and he thinks maybe it's a good idea because he doesn't really know if their futures are going to align. And Arya's like, "What do you mean? I picked that school in California because I thought that that's where you like to go and we can move there together."
Oh my god, she's such a child. She's such a child.
He's like, "I don't think that's a realistic possibility, or maybe it is or it isn't." And like this whole conversation I was already so tired of. And then they butt heads at school because there was like misdirection about, schedule times or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so obnoxious." And so then at that point, after things have cleared a little bit and everyone has left, she asks for 5 minutes,
Which I
which
thought that was bold of her to do that. You're not the teacher, director, or
I
anything.
I
Like,
know. I
wow,
was
who do
thinking
you
the
think you
same
are?
thing.
Who do you think
I was,
you are?
yeah, she was a
Yeah.
little pushy with that.
Yeah.
And then they talk about this issue again, and Arya's like, "Look, you know, we don't know what tomorrow brings. Nobody does. So let's just be happy now and forget about later. Like band-aid it. Let's just be happy now. Ignore everything in
Mhm.
the universe. Let's just be happy now."
Mhm.
That's a very childish way to think. I mean, adults think this way too, right? You could definitely have those moments where you're like, let me just get
Yep.
through today. Let us get through this relationship this week. And then in the future, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, lastly, we have to include Emily in the rest of this because she basically didn't have much by herself in this episode. But now that Toby is free, she feels like she owes it to him to go talk to him and basically just clear the air. And he says that he knows that she wasn't the one who turned him in. It was Jenna.
Which
It
is
was all
crazy.
forgiven. Yep.
Jenna's the one to keep
It's
him
Jenna.
close.
Yep. And Emily's like, oh shit, really?
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'd really like to catch up. Like, do you want to go to breakfast tomorrow? I'll take you out. And at first he like is questioning this and she's like, oh no, as friends. I'm like, yes, platonic relationship here, please.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's time for their date and she shows up and Toby's nowhere to be found. Jenna's sitting out on the porch and she's like, oh, Emily, Toby went out to breakfast with Spencer. So how does it feel to be ditched? Like, we're in the same boat. And Emily's like, not really, but
But
okay.
yeah.
And then the last thing with that is they make a point after they think they have found out the murder weapon that Emily's like, Spencer says to Emily, Emily, we need to tell Toby that we found the trophy. And Emily's like, you tell him. So I don't really know if this was just like we're showing her like basically not giving up that relationship, but like it's okay, Spencer, if you want to hang out with him. If you like him, that's okay. Like
That's how
you
I
do
took
you.
it. Yeah, like,
Right.
with a smile, like, "You know what? You do it,
Right.
because we don't
Cuz
have to
it's
say what we both know."
right, it seemed like we could have went into something else there where like
Yeah.
Emily kept feeling like the third wheel or like Emily is mad that Toby ditched her, but she honestly I think she just got over it, which
Yeah,
is
I
really
think
mature.
it is, and I think she no, like, she doesn't like him like that, so she's not gonna
No.
get in the way of her friend if her friend has feelings.
Right. She can tell that Spencer keeps thinking about Toby, talking about Toby. Like it's clear that Spencer likes Toby. And
Right.
Emily's like, all right, you do you. I'm here to support my
Yeah.
two friends. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then our last scene is A's lair with four rats, all labeled as the girls' names, but Spencer's rat is missing.
You know, I wanted after I saw this little end bit, do these actually matter? Or are they just like kind of the comical
hmm
ending title screen, what have you? Because after this one, I'm like, haha, like, mm-hmm. But like,
Right.
do these really matter or are they just for fun?
I can't tell you that because at this point, me watching it in 2011, we thought every little bit mattered, right? And
Right.
so I like some of it matters and some of it's just like,
Ties up the
campy
episode.
and coy and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah. Okay. All
Where
right.
this is like it makes sense that the rat is missing because there was rat blood on the trophy and of course A used Spencer
Mm-hmm.
because A is very keen on that Spencer right now. Spencer is their main target at the moment.
Yep.
And this will change. Like
Yeah.
everyone, like Hannah, it started with Hannah. Now Spencer's like really gung ho about figuring out this whole A shit. So A is like, I'm going to blame everything on you, Spencer, and mess with you, Spencer. So a lot of times there are clues. This, from my understanding, is not necessarily one of them. It could go either way.
Right. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So sometimes it really does matter, and people like theories and things have come up from these little blurbs, but sometimes it doesn't at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we didn't really have a message from A, but what I'm thinking is interesting is that last week on March 4th, we got an email from A, which says, sorry, I lost my temper. My bad.
What?
And you know what I was thinking was our episode didn't go out yet where you could hear us talking about the recent A stuff that we had found out. So that must have been you were in the live because the episode didn't go out yet. You know what I mean? That's just my theory. So it's Michael.
Oh my gosh. Or it's one of
I
our
mean,
patrons
I was
who
gonna
watched
say
it live.
there was a bunch of patrons in there, so you know,
It's one of our patrons.
it's one of the patrons. It has to be because we didn't get an email this week, and I always get an email on the days that we record. Not the days that we record. I usually get the email. Yeah, like I'll get usually like two emails.
And why would A apologize?
Right. I don't
All right.
know.
Interesting.
Interesting, but we're going to just take a little break and we'll be back with your segments. Okay, so this week's Rosewood Shop flavor is Baskin Robbins Gold Medal Ribbon, vanilla flavored and chocolate ice cream with caramel ribbon. With the school play in production, who's going to win the Tony for best performance? Will it be Emily's attempt to mend the friendship with Toby? How about Hannah's self control of not looking down while in the shower with Caleb? Is there a category for best stage manager? How about worse? If so, Aria takes the cake for abusing a serious role in the theater just to spend time with her inappropriate boyfriend. Or will Spencer's detective skills win her the award? Hopefully, her snooping around won't leave her in the same place as the rat. When will the liars learn that at the end of the day, it might be them holding the trophy, but it's always A who wins the gold medal?
Ooh, good one.
That was a
Thanks,
really good one.
Mike.
That was
Love
a good
it.
one. All right, so we are going to go into some trivia. Oh, it says the book Spencer's reading in the bed is called Bloody Tantrums Child Mysteries by Francesca Rollins. It is a made up book, and the author is the writer of the episode.
Oh, cool. Oh,
The
wow.
title of this episode was censored on television, and they renamed it to The Bad Seed because it's the badass
Oh
seed.
my
Why call
God.
it that then if you know your audience, like the network?
It's so lame.
And Spencer was seen with pigtails. This is an homage to the Bad Seed movie since Rhoda wore pigtail braids throughout the movie. So I guess it is a movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some questions. Will
Yeah.
says, which Mona saying is the most cringeworthy? A, bad boy only showers once a year. 2, Vendy. 3, throat coat.
Oh my God. You know what's
I
funny
think
though?
Vendy.
Yeah, throat coat tea. I actually Yogi Tea makes that.
Yeah, they do.
I love it. So I didn't even catch it as like a cringy line. I'm like, oh my God, that's like my favorite tea.
Yeah, I that scene, her like demanding to Arya, I thought was very funny.
Very funny.
She's
Yeah.
good comedic relief. But
Yeah.
yeah, a vending machine,
Uh-huh. A
Vendy.
Vendy. Vendy.
Mhm. It's like venti from Starbucks. Vic, were you part of a play in high school?
I was not, but I was on stage crew.
You're cool. Were you
I
Arya?
was cool. Yeah, but I wasn't the manager and I wasn't sleeping with the teacher. The only play I did was in fifth grade. I was in the drama club. I did Mary Poppins and I did the clowns play.
The clowns?
Yeah, something about clowns.
Something about them.
Were you ever in plays?
I wasn't. I remember in fifth grade me really wanting to try out and be Sandy in Grease because they
Oh
were
my
doing Grease.
gosh. Wow.
But I never did.
No.
You know, that's
Yeah.
all. But I remember our production of it was pretty good. I mean, for fifth graders, like that was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like our Mary Poppins was really good. I was narrator number 5.
You go,
Yeah.
narrator number 5.
I know. So cool.
Please write in if you were a part of a play in high school or even elementary, middle school, whatever. Vic asks, would you ask your mom if a friend could live in your house?
Uh this is such a like if it was one of my best friends, yes. If it was a boy who's sleeping in the basement,
Hell
no.
no.
And I already know the answer. Like I don't blame Ashley for this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. She was
Who
doing
the heck
what's
is
best
this
for her
kid?
family. She's like, this
Right.
isn't appropriate. I don't really know him. You don't really
No.
know him.
No. It's so inappropriate.
Yeah. So I'd say if it was a boy, definitely not. My parents, I would never ask because I know the answer.
No.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a college party while in high school? While I was in
Mm,
high school?
no. No. I don't think so.
I don't think while I was in high school, but I mean,
No.
obviously, when I was out of high school, I went to other people's college parties, but
Same. Right.
yeah, not while I was in high school. To add to that, Mike says, did either of you have a fake ID?
I didn't.
I never did either because you and all
Yeah.
of my other friends were older that could buy us alcohol.
I know. Once you just need one friend
Just need
and they will
one.
supply you the alcohol. And I had that one friend. And then I
Yeah.
was that friend. So,
Right. And we also just like never, not that we never, but we mostly stayed indoors when we partied. We did
right.
try and like go to clubs or bars because, our friends could just do it at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, never had to have a fake ID, but, one of my friends did because she was
Really?
younger. Yeah, my friend Angela.
Uh
Sorry,
huh.
Donna. Don't,
Uh huh.
I'm sure Donna knew.
Also,
But
it's so much
like
in the past.
her ID, it looked like her, but her name was like Ekaterini
Mm.
something, and we'll
Hmm.
never forget it and she was also like 26. Like Hannah's like, I'm 26. Allie's like, you're 21
Yeah, just
on the
bad math. That
license.
was so funny.
Yeah, like you need
That's
to know how
so funny.
old you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. To go back to Vic, she says, will Hannah tell Caleb about A now that they're getting close?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Yeah.
I just don't. Mm-mm.
Too soon for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike says, which play would you want to see? This one, the one they put on in Gossip Girl, or special third choice, seeing Leah Michelle in Funny Girl?
I'll see Funny Girl.
Well, if the out, I would see Funny Girl because it's a production that I know will be great.
And also, Leah Michelle is incredibly talented,
She is.
and it's Broadway, so I will go on Broad. I will
Anything on
go.
Broadway is
Yeah,
great. This
sign me
one,
up.
definitely not. I'm more inclined to watch the Gossip Girl one over this play
Right.
because at least that was comical because they were all like yelling at each other.
Yeah, I don't really want to see these kids perform.
No, this doesn't look like it's going to be good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Britt says, who do you think was the one that pushed the girl down the stairs? Was it Allie? Was it Ian? Was it both of them?
It could have been both of them. It could have been them fighting. It could have
And
been
like by
like,
accident, like,
yeah. Like Ian, like, hey, go away, get out, leave right now, whatever his two words were.
get lost.
Get lost. There you go. And her being like, "Ugh," and then her falling by accident.
Right.
That's what I think happened.
Okay. Yeah. With the tag at the end, what do you think it means with Spencer's rat being missing? Is she the next to be targeted? Any thoughts on how A will go after her?
I mean, I feel like she's already being targeted.
Yeah.
The bracelets were purchased by a girl named Spencer. The whole shadow situation. Like, I feel like she is personally the living target right now.
Right. Yeah. Well, A is always up to their tricks, so we'll
Yeah.
see
Hmm.
if they do anything else with Spencer
Mm-hmm.
as of late. Kate says, what's going on with Ian and Jenna? What was in the bag he gave her? Is there any significance to the bag itself? It appeared to have a store name on it.
Yeah, it looked like it said Newfields or something or
Yeah,
Newports.
which is
Yeah.
not like a real store.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but the thing that threw me off about that is if it was something of, I don't know, having to deal with Allie's death or anything like that, why would he give it to her in school?
Right. In middle of the
Like it doesn't make sense.
quad. Right.
Yeah,
If he wanted to keep it private, then he would have
right,
done it in private.
right.
Right.
Do
Which
we go
Caleb moment? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
do we go back to that?
We do.
Okay.
Yes. We actually get more of the bag in next week's episode.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes. Which Caleb moment was more exciting, the shower or the kiss? I think we already know the answer to that.
The shower.
The shower.
The shower. For
Oh my
sure.
goodness. And like I said, when I think of Pretty Little Liars, I think of certain scenes and I always think of this one.
Oh my God, it was so
Always.
good.
Because watching it, I'm like, that is so unrealistic and unnecessary, but also it's Caleb and also it makes me giddy.
Mm-hmm. All the
So I'm
things.
so okay with it.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's really good. Okay, so shout out to Lisa who had sent me her thoughts on Pretty Little Liars in general and how
Lisa.
she is just was not happy that we were going to do this podcast, but she'll stick around because it's us and she'll still send some of her thoughts on some of the bigger things that happen. But she says she really likes Caleb and obviously Azaria is the worst. And she feels like Mike and Jillian are A.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
As Lisa's writing it, she's like,
She's
I'm
on our
A,
side.
actually.
She's like, XOXO. It's
A.
me. I feel like I have to mention Aria's tuxedo shirt. What the hell was that? It was so unattractive.
Yeah,
She's so beautiful that her
I
sometimes it takes
know.
away.
I didn't like that, especially with the red bra strap sticking out or red tank top. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I really did like Spencer's captain's jacket.
Yes.
That was really cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really in this week's and I think next week's episode I really do like some of Spencer's fashion choices.
Yeah.
My cringe scene was when Ian says two words get lost.
Oh,
That really
yeah, my cringe season. Cringe season. He's a
cringe.
whole cringe
He's a
season.
whole cringe season.
My cringe scene was he was like, "Hey, can you hold down this flap for me?"
Ew, flap. Just the word flap even is
Ew,
cringy.
it's gross.
It is. What was your favorite quote?
Hey there, Hannah and her clanna.
Mona had so many good lines in this episode.
Yeah.
I have Caleb. What do you guys do on the weekends? Break old ladies' hips?
I mean, he had a bunch of great lines.
So many good lines. I forgot how funny like they make his jargon, his banter. It's funny.
He's so quick and he's charming and he's witty and he's all of the things.
All of it. All of it in a nutshell. Mm.
Mm.
Who was your MVP?
My MVP is Caleb.
Yay, nice.
There's no real reason for it. Just because he was very sweet to Hannah in this episode and he continues to be sweet to her and the shower scene. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great choice. I chose Spencer. I'm really
Great
just
choice.
I'm digging her lately. I'm digging her like softer side with Toby. I'm just really enjoying all of her scenes where she's trying to figure out everything. I don't know. I just really she's intense, but I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, we had votes for Caleb as a couple, Hannah and Mona.
Nice.
What about a shittiest?
Aria
Yeah, that was
annoyed
across
me.
the board. Yeah, just annoying, childish. They just really need to get on the same page, and she's not hitting it. She's not hitting the mark.
No, she's just annoying. Like really annoying.
Yeah, she's really annoying.
Do we continue with this play?
No,
That's
I
it?
don't think so. Yeah, I think it was just a device
Like a one
to.
and done?
Yeah, I don't. It's not something that like continues. Like, we definitely don't see it happen on stage. Yeah,
That's
there's so
weird.
much other shit that they have to
No, I
do
get
that.
that, but it's just weird. It's just
Yeah.
weird. Okay.
Well, the Gossip Girl episode, it was kind of just that one and done.
Yeah, but we saw it.
We did see the play. You're right.
You know what
We
I'm
did.
saying? Like this was just it was weird.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
All right, so it's time for a little Betty of the week.
Ooh.
This week is Jillian, one of the OGs who we love and adore. She was actually on this week's episode of Talking Texas Forever. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. She was a wonderful guest. And then we had all this fun banter about Perfect Match at the end. And it was just really great to speak with her. And always, when we get to hear from her in the Discord, we just love and appreciate her. So thank you, Delonce.
Thanks, Jillian. We love you.
I was thinking the trophy
Me
as an
too.
emoji. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Or it
Definitely.
was either the trophy or a rat.
Oh yeah, rat. We could have done that, but I feel like trophy would just look so much better in an Apple
Mm-hmm.
Podcast
Mm-hmm.
review.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying, get what I'm putting down. We are just asking that if you haven't already and you are liking this podcast and you've gotten to episode 17 and you're like, wow, I've listened all the way through
18.
and I've
18.
18. Sorry, episode 18, and you've listened all the way through and you're like, whoa, I'm binging this podcast. I'm liking this podcast. Just, you know, it would be nice and helpful for the show if you were to leave a rating and review on your Apple Podcast app. Just
Yeah,
saying.
you could just be like Caleb and be like, I'm ready to throw down. Here's my
Here it
trophy.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know what? You could even just put the trophy emoji, tap the stars, and you don't even have to write
Oh my God,
anything.
that would be great.
That would be awesome. Just like you're here for this podcast, we're getting your applause trophy.
I mean, how easy is that? To
It is
literally drop an
easy.
emoji, 5 stars, submit.
That's all you have to do. Super easy. We don't have a review this week to read,
You
so
liar. Come on,
that
guys.
is your homework for next week, please. All
Yeah.
right. Next week, we have a very special guest.
I'm so excited.
Mm,
Ooh.
we're going to have Brooke from Even the Rich
And
and
Rich and
God We
Daily.
Lost, Rich and Daily. It's happening. She's a Pretty
Yay.
Little Liars fan.
Oh my God.
And we want to chat with her about all of this goodness. So she's going to be on for next week's episode, which is episode 19, which is a chef's kiss. It's even better than this week's episode.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the title and then I'll give you a secret. So the title is A Person of Interest. My secret is that, let's just say there's a lot of firsts happening next week.
That's your secret?
Yeah, there's so much goodness that I couldn't just give you one thing. I wanted, like, for every girl, lots of firsts.
Oh no. Are we losing some virginities next week? You said that a couple of weeks ago that Azaria have not done the deed and that we will see them do the deed or like we'll allude to it because of setups.
I did say that.
So I'm thinking that's going to happen. I'm thinking, we're calling them Haleb?
Haleb, yeah. It's Haleb, Spoby, and it's really Ezria. And then
No.
yeah, there
No.
might be another one happening on the horizon, but I forget the name.
Oh, with Paige?
Yeah.
Paige and Emily?
Paige. Yeah, I forget the name. There might be one.
Emily?
I'll have to look
Anyway,
it up. It's
it's
not
okay.
important.
Yeah, so I think Azar I'm going to call them what we call them, but Azaria
Yeah.
will go into the first of that. I think that Caleb is just maybe going to take it slow. I think it's going to like go fast and then be like, wait, let's pull back, let's pull back, let's pull back.
Yeah.
And I think actually Spobifer maybe will have like a cute handhold, like an actual handhold, not like I'm going with Spencer to the courthouse or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, like kind of like a date-ish coffee date, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, are we on a date?" Something like that. So I think that's what we're gonna get into.
Love it. Great thoughts. Great thoughts.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to watch. I can't wait to see your faces. Your faces, just your face, your one face that you have.
Yeah.
While we watch this episode, we're gonna have our Discord chat. So if you're a patron, you won't want to miss this one. I promise you, it's gonna be fun. And then you get to ask more questions. So like, let's do this. Let's have this fun little Discord chat next week. If that's something that interests you, you can head over to our Patreon. The link is in the description, as always. And that's all I got. Like, that's it. Overall, this episode, I hyped it up a little bit too much, I think.
A little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
A
And
little
I
bit.
and I don't mean to do that for next week, but I truly feel in my heart of hearts that you're really going to enjoy next week.
Until we get to next week and be like, oh shit, I hyped it up a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, well,
No, the Caleb scenes were great. They were great. They were great.
yes. And there'll be there'll be good scenes overall next week. And I did say in the Discord chat, like I binged this episode, I'm sorry, the next two episodes, and they honestly I found they're both to be very good.
I'm sure they are.
Like, you know, we're getting close to the end of the
Yeah.
season, so they have to really either sum up things or answer, like, you know, a few questions that are posed. And I'm glad. I'm really excited. When I responded to Lisa's email, I was like, girl, I hear you, but I'm actually really liking this show.
For now,
Because
though. For
for
now.
now, I know, but I also feel like my mindset is so different. Obviously, now watching it in 2023 at 33, almost 34 years old. And I'm like, I can literally dissect it and say, have my therapy session with you and like talk about it. And I'm good. Like, I'm really in a happy place with
Yeah, I
this
mean this
show.
this show's fun. It's
It's fun.
super, super fun. And I'm here for it. So
Yeah,
good
we
things
go.
all around. Good things all
Yes,
around.
long ways to go, but we will be we'll be back next week for episode 19. So we'll see you then.